What's up, humans, and welcome to a new Psicoactivo. Happy Saturday, everybody. So yesterday I wasn't able to do a video because I'm setting up the set right now. This is the progress so far. Behind, I have a little stand with two katanas, my Charles Darwin, a stormtrooper, Boba Fett, a little Yoda, some beer bottles that I like from all over the world. Then I got my thing is here, the astronaut and the Love in Construction painting from Sabina Espinosa. Both of them are hers. And then the Area 51 one. To my left, I got this samurai that I bought. It's going to be a work in progress. It's going to be an event, a constant beta version. But I'm happy to be finally here. I don't know how the echo is. I guess I have a little bit, but we'll try to manage. Um, but yeah, I obviously I wasn't aware of everything that was going on yesterday, but I did see a couple of things that I found really interesting. One of them is that after Dylan Borland's appearance in the Weaponized podcast and also in the hearings, there seems to be like a really gut reaction from people who don't believe him. And after the hearing, I started hearing rumblings of more people that wanted to come forward and other people within the movement that were already talking to folks who claim to be from the Legacy program, who touched craft allegedly and managed biologics allegedly. And something started happening this week where two people who are like important in the movement, in the control disclosure movement, came forward with interviews and discussed this, the firsthand experience from some of these alleged whistleblowers. And I got to show you who spoke and just let me know what you think about it. I don't know if this is like part of the plan that to come forward and talk about what each person knows or what each person has been told. It seems to be a little bit of that. I know that the Soul Foundation event is going to be big in terms of for the control disclosure crew and the more government friendly kind of people. Nothing against that at all. There's just clearly an effort that is like separate from all the others. There's like the independent researching from people like, for example, GERB and other people that are also trying to get to the truth. But there's another effort that is more like official from people from the government and who are government friendly. And some of these people are the usual: Leslie Kane, Lou Elizondo, David Grush, Carl Nell, and two people who were part of this movement from at least 2017, and some of them even before that, came forward in different interviews. One of them is Ralph Blumenthal. And if you guys don't know who that is, he's part of the 2017 New York Times article with Leslie Kane, where they uncovered those three videos: Go Fast, Tic Tac, and Gimbal. And it's been quite a roller coaster after that. You guys know everything that's happened after that and how it originated, basically, the entire movement. So Ralph doesn't give many interviews these days. He used to do plenty back in the day, and he just came back with a new one. And Ralph has decades-long experience as a New York Times writer and contributor and journalist, and he developed a really brilliant career. So in his later years, in his more recent life, he's been dedicating to investigating these phenomena. And recently, he was on a show called All Across America. This is just a little clip that I'm going to show you guys, and then I'm going to show you the next person who came forward saying something very similar. And I just want to ask you how you find this coincidence, because two people big in the movement in the same week saying kind of the same thing. It's interesting, right? So here is Ralph Blumenthal in All Across America saying the following.
So to answer your question, yes, we've gotten many accounts from people who say who claim to be in the know. They have intelligence credentials. They say they have seen craft with their own eyes. They put their hands on craft. They have, in some cases, seen alien bodies, but not to the point where we can verify that information. So to answer your question, yes, we've gotten many accounts from people who say who claim to be in the know. They have intelligence credentials. They say they have seen craft.
So this is very interesting because they're very careful with how they say it, right? You can't say, yeah, I know that these crashed craft are real and that the bodies are real because I know. If you haven't seen them or touched them yourself, you can't say that you know. What you can say is, and how Ralph says it because he's a seasoned journalist, is that they claim, the people that he talks to claim this. And that's how he should say it. The other one, who also does this, recently came out in a different interview on the Magazin.tv show. Dr. Garry Nolan is asked about what he knows, and this is what he says.
There are many incidents in Europe, and in fact, one of the very first claimed crash retrievals was in Italy back in I think the 1930s or so, late 1920s, 1930s. But even if they all happen to only crash in the United States, the reality of it means something global. But if anybody looks into the history of the matter, they understand immediately that there have been events around the world, crashes claimed around the world, Russia especially. The very well-known UFO researcher, UAP researcher, OVNI researcher by the name of Jacques Vallée spent a lot of time in the former Soviet Union dealing with scientists there and chronicling the things that they had seen and that they knew that their own military was doing. So if you talk to people within what is the so-called Legacy Program, the people who claim to be directly working on the craft, and I have spoken to them personally, they say, oh yeah, we know China and Russia have their own programs. The United States has many agreements with what are first called the Five Eyes nations. Those are the English-speaking nations: Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand. Those are the first level agreements. But then there are agreements with France and others. And it's also now very well understood that the United States has agreements where if something does come down, they then have permission to go in and retrieve it. There was an event, for instance, in Brazil that was recently put forward in a movie by James Fox, the Varginha incident, which it's said, claimed, chronicled and documented that the United States sent a retrieval team to basically retrieve it from Brazil, not steal it from Brazil, to, under agreement, retrieve it and bring it back.
So it sounds like the United States have it all under control, but the whole situation. But how about the Europeans? Why do you think Europe should deal with it?
Well, because, for instance, one of the more famous events in the United Kingdom around what's called Rendlesham, where nuclear weapons were being kept, there were basically sightings and a landing where one of the individuals who claimed to have been harmed, there's a very famous story about it, and actually I think even a movie. I actually went out and collected that individual's blood for analysis. There are, in fact, probably the country which has done the most work, open work, is France, where it's in.
Uruguay is also close. So just so you know, Uruguay has one of the most dedicated and decades-long old UAP office, official from the government. So yeah, it's France is really strong there, but Uruguay is really strong as well, and Brazil too. But the problem with Brazil is something that Dr. Garry Nolan kind of talked about here between the lines. They have had agreements with the United States to treat this issue together because there were incidents in the 70s in Brazil, and that incident from the 90s, the Virginia case that James Fox immortalized in his film, Moment of Contact, those are like just two of many different events that have happened in Brazil. And other events are really not that well known, but some of them are really shocking. I'm actually doing a video soon on one of those that happened back in 2019, 2020, something like that, where there is video that flooded the web when it happened, of an event that took place in Brazil in one of the localities there, away from big cities, where you can hear military personnel shooting their firearms. There's a take where there's this jungle in the background and there's movement there, and you can hear the gunshots there. And this is a really startling case that is more recent, that obviously it already has its debunks. Every case has a debunk already, but yeah, it's not just France, and in Latin America it's been happening for many years. Brazil and Uruguay are the most obvious examples, but I'm sure other countries also deal with it in their own way.
In the military and the scientific community, it is an allowable subject. So to say that Europe is somehow immune or that Europe is ignoring it, frankly, flies in the face of the facts that there are these events that have been chronicled and seen. There is at least the one that I know of that came down in Italy. I'm aware of some others that I.
He's talking about Magenta, obviously. Link in the description for my episode with the Magenta 33 crew, Michael Armentor and Craig Oliver.
Can't talk about. But the United States has, for better or worse, been the recipient of most of the crashes. Now, what also appears to be the case is that we don't quite understand how their technologies work. Again, in speaking with people on the Legacy program, they say their technology is as advanced to us as would be a cell phone to a Neanderthal or a Denisovan. And I'm not trying to denigrate Denisovans or Neanderthals. I have 5% DNA from them in my history.
Okay, so that debate is already ongoing about the tech, how advanced it is. The fact that humans may not understand this tech if it exists, from those alleged crashed craft, that doesn't mean that humans didn't find a way to sort of replicate at a much lower scale, a much lower performance, but similar with materials that we have on Earth. That doesn't mean that that didn't happen. It may as well have. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that, because some of that stuff may well be highly advanced, like thousands, even more years older, years more advanced than our own. But yeah, reverse engineering, I'm guessing it's not just about like replicating the tech identically. It must also have to do with at least try to mimic it in some way, right? And obviously the military industrial complex is the one controlling all of that, because what they want is to weaponize everything and perpetuate conflict, and because war sells a lot. So I don't know if you guys noticed that pattern though from Mr. Blumenthal and Dr. Nolan. They're coming out talking about these people that they've spoken to from the Legacy program. Just so you know, those two are not the only ones saying this, that they speak to Legacy program people. If these people are legit and they actually are part of this Legacy Program and they are working on craft and they are working on biologics, they're talking to a lot of folks within the UFO movement already. And they're talking amongst each other. They didn't know each other for a long time. But when this topic started coming more in the open, many of them apparently are now like speaking amongst each other, especially the ones that want the truth out. Because as I have it understood, a lot of these people didn't even know that they were like committing crimes or being part of a crime against humanity, which is hiding all of this from the world. And I know that there's the other side of the coin where there's people that understand why this is being hidden, because there may be also like a really imminent danger if this is known because of the human nature of, not being too stable as a society and all that, not too evolved and all that. I get that too. But I don't know. I think these two statements were very significant this week because these two individuals are very important for the controlled disclosure movement, and they have a really impressive career. They don't care about risking it really because they're talking about all of this, and they clearly believe what's going on is a real deal. So we just got to keep digging and see what else they eventually come out and say. And if we can see some evidence from these Legacy Program people, I hope so. Dylan Borland alluded to that a little while ago. I think it was yesterday. And I got to show you guys because this one, just to close out, in terms of evidence, Dylan Borland was responding to something said about Mr. Mick West, who is known as Debunker, though. This is the tweet from Robert W.R. Open Gate. My bet is Mick West is one of these people. His statements are exact copies of official statements made by the DoD and Arrow. This alludes to the statement Dylan made on Weaponized on the second part, where he claims that he's seen a chat where there's people from the DoD, and a lot of the messages written in this chat, he eventually sees them on X from known people within the UFO community, especially the skeptics and all that. So he didn't specify who it was. I don't know if I would put Mick there, honestly. I don't know. I just think Mick is like way too polite to like be part of that. Plus, he's British. Like, unless there's some kind of like cross collaboration between the British government and the United States government in terms of trying to debunk everything, I don't think Mick is even involved in that, honestly. He's a debunker. He's a denialist, if you can call him that. But honestly, I saw his interview with Xander Jones on the Dreamland Motel. That was a really cool conversation. But I digress. Sorry. This is what Dylan Borland said. He says, the hilarious thing is, if you notice, I didn't say anything at the hearing that wasn't already admitted to by Arrow and our government, with the only exception, I had direct knowledge. Really makes you wonder why everyone would freak out unless I was sitting on something. If you are, then there's the evidence, and hopefully we can see it soon. But until then, well, there's the statement. Yeah. So tell me what you think about this. What do you think about the statements from Ralph Blumenthal and Dr. Garry Nolan about talking to Legacy Program people? What do you think about what Dylan said, that he is sitting on something? What do you think that is? You think that's evidence, actually? That'd be really cool if it is, and we would love to see it. But I want to show you guys something else that I'm really proud of from my buddy Xander Jones. Just to close out this video and on the return to the new set, everything, I want to show you this. Xander is doing something for charity, which is freaking amazing. And I just want to show you what he's doing so you guys can check it out, so you can support this movement. So it's called Checking In for a Cause, Supporting Mental Health this October. I'm all for supporting mental health, Xander. So I will gladly play this, my brother.
Here at the motel, the lights stay on through every... Here at the motel, the lights stay on through every kind of night. The nights are peaceful. The world feels still, safe, familiar. Other nights, not so much. Sometimes the thoughts get loud. The air feels heavy. And it's hard to remember that the sun will always come back. That's why this October, I'm dedicating all of my YouTube revenue to helping those that are struggling with their mental health. I'll be donating to Mind, a charity helping people through the hardest nights, offering real support where it matters most. Because we've all been there in one way or another. And even the smallest act, a message, a share, a few words of kindness, can change someone's entire story. If you can, please donate using the link below. But even if you can't, maybe take a moment tonight to reach out to someone and ask how they're doing. Tell them you're glad they're here. Here in the Dreamland Motel, you are not alone. So check in, tune out, and feel better.
Yay. That's beautiful. I really love this. As someone who suffered from mental health problems in the past, a lot of depression mainly, I fully support this. Please go support Xander. All his work that he does is brilliant, really. I know that some of his tunes were already played on Gerb's channel, which is freaking great. So congrats on that. But yeah, this is really cool from Xander. So go support him. Go watch his videos. If you can, donate. And if you can't, that's fine. Just be nice to people. Ask them how they're doing. Everything Xander said. It really doesn't cost anything to make someone feel better if you see them struggling. And I know that that's something that really helped me out when I was struggling. Somebody who extended their hand and asked me how I was. So, yeah. Thank you, Xander. And yeah, I'll leave links in the description to everything so you guys can check that out. Let me know what you think in the comments about everything. Thank you for sticking up with me. We'll be back to regularly scheduled programming today, and in the following days, I'll be just busting them out in the new set. Thank you, guys. If you like the content you see, I'm going to ask you to like, share, comment, hype, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That's all you need to do in order to help us, and it is what helps us the most, so thank you. But if you want to support us in other ways, there's a few links down there you can choose from. You can become a member on YouTube, or you can support us through KGRA. Anything you choose to do is always appreciated, so thank you. And that's it for me today on this video, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, stay curious and inquisitive like Xander freaking Jones. Always. Bye.